Hello, Aries. We moved upstairs to a 2-bedroom apartment. How you doing? How was April for you? Well, let's get into May horoscope, Aries. 2020. Your concentration is on point during the Sun-Mercury conjunction on May 4th. You're mentally alive and alert, and communication is your strength. If you have any studying to do, be sure to get it done during this transit. Memorization is especially easy now. A full moon in watery Scorpio on the 17th balances with the earthiness of the Taurus sun and helps you define what's truly necessary in your life. Letting go is never easy, but lightening your load makes room for you to accept important new things later in this lunation. Your power planet Mars enters gentle Pisces on May 12th, making you feel a lot less confident and driven. You're much more into concepts than action now, which is an extreme departure from how you usually are. More than anything, this transit is about adjusting your outlook, Aries. When you do, you'll see things from a gentler, more compassionate perspective. Your mind is alert with possibilities when the sun enters Curious Gemini on the 20th. And variety is the key to life. You won't want to stay with any one person or talk about any one topic for long. The world is a big, big place, and you have a lot to explore. Alright, Aries. Present, your current situation for Aries in May of 2020. Nine of Cups. Like I said, your concentration is on point during the Sun-Mercury conjunction on May 4th. Nine of Cups. Wish fulfillment, satisfaction, sensual pleasure. What's your current situation at the beginning of May? Influence, helpful, or challenging energies for Aries in May of 2020. Page of Swords. Use your mind, be truthful, be just, have fortitude. Might be a little bit challenging here. Says use your mind, be just, have fortitude, be truthful. Right or wrong, analyze a problem, act honestly, face problems squarely. This can be helpful or challenging for you. Past issues basis situation Aries in May of 2020. Two of Swords. Blocked emotions, avoidance, stalemate. Blocking emotions, avoiding the truth. Being at a stalemate. Let's see here. Immediate past. What is behind you, Aries, in May of 2020? Ace of Pentacles. Material force, prosperity, practicality, trust. Focusing on concrete results, using common sense, having the means to reach a goal, believing in the good faith of others. That's what you went through in April. Grounding thoughts, your thoughts regarding the situation, Aries, for May of 2020. The Hermit. Introspection, searching, guidance, solitude. Opposing card, your current situation is Nine of Cups, sensual pleasure. So you're just not in the mood, really, with this all quarantined situation, pandemic. Needing to be alone, desiring stillness, withdrawing from the world, experiencing seclusion, giving up distractions, retreating into a private world. Thinking things over, focusing inward, concentrating less on the senses, quieting yourself, looking for answers within, needing to understand. And then the Two of Swords here in your subconscious. Bases the situation. Blocked emotions, avoidance, stalemate. Denying true feelings, stifling a natural response, keeping another at arm's length, hiding distress, turning a deaf ear, being defensive, maintaining your cool. Immediate future, what is about to happen, Aries, for May of 2020? Queen of Cups. This Page of Swords was a young air sign. Queen of Cups is Pisces. Loving, tender-hearted, intuitive, psychic, spiritual. Turns away wrath with caring, is unconditionally accepting, is sensitive to the feelings of others, dispels anger and hate, has infinite patience, is easily moved by another's pain, reacts with sensitivity and compassion, is kind and gentle with all creatures, can never turn away someone in need, feels what others are feeling. Your fears, emotional concerns regarding the situation for Aries in May of 2020. King of Swords, Aquarius. Queen of Cups. I don't know if I showed you the Hermit. King of Swords. Intellectual, analytical, articulate, just, ethical. You want to be you're emotionally concerned about being intellectual, analytical, articulate, just, or ethical. Your fears and how the others maybe look at you. Let's see what comes up for environmental factors, how others see you, Aries, in May of 2020. Ten of Pentacles. Mr. Moneybags. Is that how others see you? Affluence, permanence, convention. Having material abundance, staying within established guidelines, looking for a solution that will last. Your hopes, what you really wish for, Aries, in May of 2020. Page of Cups, young water sign. Be emotional, be intuitive, be intimate, be loving. Be moved or touched, start or renew a love affair. Receive guidance from within, making a thoughtful gesture. Outcome answers your question, Aries, for May of 2020. The Lovers. Relationship, sexuality, personal beliefs, values. Directly opposing card is your crowning thoughts, though. Being alone, not relating, less sexuality. Reinforcing card, though, is your current situation. Nine of Cups, sexual pleasure. This is a caution and discernment month for you. With the outcome of the Lovers. Let's see. Relating to others, establishing bonds, feeling love, forming a union or marriage, acknowledging kinship, sympathizing with another, getting closer, making a connection, being intimate. Being sexual, seeking union, experiencing desire, making love, opening to another, responding with passion, feeling and physical attraction, tapping inner energy. So at the end of the month, it looks like you'll be able to establish a very good relationship. If you're looking for one, or if you're in one, it'll get better. Even though we might be at each other's throats right now with this pandemic quarantine situation. Additional clues and guidance about the reading for Aries in May of 2020. Page of Wands, young earth or young fire sign. King of Pentacles, Capricorn. Four of Wands in reverse. And Temperance in reverse. Top of the deck, Three of Wands, Bottom of the deck, Eight of Swords in reverse. All those fears and doubts, your emotional concerns falling away from you, getting out of your way even though you're not seeing them. They're not very clear to you what's going on. Three of Wands, establishing a path into a new voyage over the horizon, from out from the swamps of emotions. Page of Wands. Be creative, be enthusiastic, be confident, be courageous. That's additional clues and guidance for the month. King of Pentacles. Enterprising, adept, reliable, supporting, steady. Four of Wands in reverse. Half the strength of the card, half the power of the card, half full, half empty. Depending on how you want to perceive the month for yourself. Celebration, freedom, excitement. Temperance, half the power of the card. Temperance, balance, health, combination. I see a lot of personality, identities for your reading. Could be about your personality and your identity, or those around you. Well, yeah, Three of Wands. Exploration, foresight, leadership. Closing cards here in your past issues, this situation, basis of the situation. Two of Swords, avoiding the facts, staying stuck. Eight of Swords. Restriction, confusion, powerlessness. Four of Wands is the opposing card. Freedom, lack of restriction. Remember, the Eight of Swords and Four of Wands are both in reverse, so it's half the power of the card. Let's see. Organize these cards for a second here. Let me go. That's Shadow. This is down here. 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 This is Ego. Shadow. Ego. Down here. Okay. So we're gonna do, I'm doing things a little bit different now. So I'm gonna do two sides of this reading. We're gonna go Ego and Shadow side. This deck's gonna represent the ego, and it's gonna explain more on the cards from the ego aspect. So from the ego aspect, why is this Nine of Cups here for the current situation for Aries in May of 2020? Griffin of Bucks. The confusing book. You have some understanding or blurry vision of what you want to do, but the full picture isn't clear yet. Now that's okay. Start acting based on what you know. Clarity will come. Now we're going to do the shadow side of the same card. From the shadow aspect, why is this Nine of Cups here in the current situation? For Aries in May of 2020. King of Chalices. And this is the Dark Grimoire Tarot deck. Wait a second here. Oh, here we go. So the king, the control of one of the four personality centers, the full possession of one's resources. This is chalices, so emotions. Chalices are dreams and represent emotions in the element of water, corresponding to your own emotional sensory joys and pains. Dreams are delicate and are held in the heart like wine in a chalice. Dreams sometimes well and overflow like tears in your eyes when we are moved. The control of one of those. So the control of dreams and represent emotions in the element of water corresponding to your own emotional sensory joys and pains. Dreams are delicate and are held in the heart like wine in a chalice. Dreams sometimes well and overflow like tears in your eyes when we are moved. The full possession of one's resources and emotions. From the ego side, Aries, why is this Page of Swords here in the helpful or challenging energies for May of 2020? Lovers. The divine lover. Love as often as you can and in as many ways possible. Love deeply, fully, and completely. Love is the human manifestation of divine connection in the material world. But that has to do with remember what the Page of Swords was, and the source of it is you're a very passionate, sensual person, and you have to be intellectual, truthful, and honest. And not have your desire of having sex or passionate love overcome or be more important than intellect, honesty, and trust. From the shadow side, Why is this Page of Swords here for Aries in May of 2020? Queen of Chalices. So pretty much the same thing. It's helpful or challenging though. It's probably more challenging. But with the Queen, the keeper of the forces, perception of these emotions is going to be helpful but challenging. I mean, with the Lovers there and the Page of Swords, it's going to be hard for you to not be your usual sensual sexual self. So you're going to have to balance it out. Have just enough or not too much, or be wary of not having too much, or having like a good even moderation. That's what I'm looking for. Moderation of your sexual sensual self, Aries. From the ego, why is this Two of Swords here? And the basis of the situation, past issues for Aries in May of 2020. The Moon. Pretty sure that's the Moon. Number 18. The Moon. The Maiden behind the mirror. You think you are looking at reality, but it is your own projections. Look around the mirror, leaving your expectations behind, and you will discover a different reality. From the Shadow, why is the Two of Swords here for the basis of the situation, past issues for Aries in May of 2020? Four of Wands. That reminds me of the third movie of Lord of the Rings when they're climbing the volcano. So first we'll read Wands. Wands are lights and represent creativity and the element of fire, corresponding to your own creative center. Together with sexuality, the lights defeat the darkness and disperse fears, releasing a vibrant creativity. And the Four represents a level of comprehension is reached and consolidated, stability, fulfillment in your creative forces and your passion itself. So that's what you're dealing with, is being disciplined with your sensual self, creative self. You like to think that you're more creative, and sometimes people perceive you as a liar. And you're like, I'm just being creative for to get a solution for a problem. You're pretty much the only one out of all the signs that thinks that way. Other than Gemini, I think. And Pisces. And Capricorn. A little bit of Sag sometimes. Scorpio. So you're not the only one, but you're the most dominant of that thinking pattern. Ace of Pentacles. From the ego, why is this Ace of Pentacles here for the immediate past for Aries in May of 2020? The Griffin of Spheres. The sphere in action, all the potential of life is just that, potential. For it to be realized, risk must be taken, decisions made, and actions decided. Unless the sphere is broken, it is nothing more than a shiny ball. From the shadow, why is this Ace of Pentacles here in the immediate past for Aries in May of 2020? Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. Let's read Pentacles out of this deck. The Pentacles are shadows and represent matter and the element of the earth, corresponding to our own physical center, the body. Its needs and the material that surrounds it. Amidst the shadows grow attachments of men who identify themselves with their body and with the objects they possess. And 8 means the ability to decide, and fortitude come from reason and generate a desire for balance, stagnation. Why is the Hermit here in the crowning thoughts for from the ego? Why is the Hermit here in the crowning thoughts for Aries in May of 2020? The Sun. The Prince of Light, you carry a spark of the divine within you. Shed everything that hides that spark from the world. Without shame or self-consciousness, reveal that glory in your everyday life. From the shadow, why is this Hermit here in the crowning thoughts for Aries in May of 2020? Two of Swords. The swords are demons and represent thoughts and the element of air corresponding to our own intellectual center. With the mind and its potential, if thoughts escape our control, they can become obsessions, taking the form of demons that enslave the mind. The following general indications should be used to interpret the individual cards, taking into consideration the meanings of the suits and always relying on one's own sensations and instincts. So the two, diverse energies face off in the depths, obstacles, and critical point, accumulation. So with the demons inside, with your obsessions, probably with the sensual self and your sexual self. Why is the Queen of Wands from the ego? Why is the Queen of Wands here in the immediate future for Aries in May of 2020? Seven of Chalices. The chalice dreamt. Despite the number of chalices in your life, sometimes space creates a need for a new chalice. Attend to this desire. Spend time with it. Examine it. Determine the perfect chalice to fill the yearning. She's the Queen of Cups. She's got the chalice. From the shadow, why is this Queen of Cups here in the immediate future for Aries in May of 2020. Knight of Swords. The demon's holding the head, and the body's riding the demon with the sword in his hand. Left hand, by the way. That's what the picture was. So remember what the swords meant? The swords are demons and represent thoughts in the element of air, corresponding to our own intellectual center. With the mind and its potential, if thoughts escape our control, they become obsessions, taking the form of demons that enslave the mind. And then the knight, enterprise and vivacity, urge to action, inclination to do a sudden turn of events. Dealing with the demons, but then it falls on the Queen of Cups there, your immediate future. So it all ties together back to your how do I say this? Your urges, your deep urges that you have a hard time controlling. King of Swords. From the ego, why is the King of Swords here in your emotional concerns of the situation, your fears, from Aries in May of 2020? The Empress. Worried you got somebody pregnant? Not being honest with them that you might be the one who got them pregnant? Mother of Hope, you have been given a wondrous gift. A great honor brings with it the responsibility of nurturing that gift. Receive this gift with your whole being, allowing it to fill with your hope. So this month, remember, we were talking about being intellectual, honest, genuine, and having a good opportunity for this wondrous gift in May. And you're emotionally concerned about it. Might be too much for you to handle. You like being your reckless self, Aries, with your urges. From the shadow, why is this King of Swords here? And your emotional concerns regarding the situation, your fears, Aries, in May of 2020. Knave of Pentacles. Let's see, what was Pentacles again? Pentacles are shadows and represent matter in the element of the earth, corresponding to our own physical center of the body it needs and the material that surrounds it. Amidst the shadows grow attachments of men who identify themselves with their body and with the objects they possess. Knave, passage of the onset of a transformation, the secret learning of the hidden knowledge of the pyramids. And this card has a pyramid in it. He's in the cave, deep down in the earth. It makes me think of Antarctica. Buried under the snow. So you're afraid of this transformation. And separating yourself from the how you grew in the shadows of attachment with men who identify themselves with their body and with the objects they possess. From the ego, why is this Ten of Pentacles here? In your environmental factors, how others see you in Aries in May of 2020. The Emperor. What are major arcana for you, Aries? Oh, I'm wrong. That's not Emperor. That's Hermit. The sacred beggar of the world and the divine react to your actions and intent. Become humble and ask nature and spirit to fill your bowl with the wisdom you need. It does no good to ask those who have nothing. So people see you as having enough, even though you're asking for more. From the shadow, why is this Ten of Pentacles here? For environmental factors, how others see you, Aries, in May of 2020. Nine of Pentacles. So Pentacles was shadows and represent matter and the element of the earth corresponding to our own physical center, the body, its needs, and the material that surrounds it. Amidst the shadows grow attachments of men who identify themselves with their body and with the objects they possess. And the nine is the experience produced abundance, wholeness, but perhaps also isolation and crisis. I mean, stimulus checks, that's what that says to me. From the ego, why is this Page of Cups here in your hopes, wishes for Aries in May of 2020? Three of Swords. Sword weighs heavy. Everyone says they want the truth. If they knew the pain it could cause, they would not always be so eager. You have discovered a truth and now must carry it and its consequences with you. And that's why you have the Page of Cups there. For your hopes and wishes. From the shadow, why is this Page of Cups here in the hopes and wishes for Aries in May of 2020? Death. Phoenix card, beginning of something new, end of something old. And the Nameless City, the mad poet who wrote the Necronomicon, also wrote the famous verses, "What can live eternally cannot be dead, and in strange aeons even death can die." That's why the Page of Cups is there. For your hopes and wishes. You want something to start over. You want the old ways to die and the new ways to begin. Why is the Lover's card here? From the ego, why is the Lover's card here for the outcome for Aries in May of 2020? Griffin of Swords. The sword in action, combining a noble truth with action, is the best way to honor that truth. A close-held belief is almost meaningless. A close-held belief is almost meaningless unless it is manifest in the world through your actions. So reap what you sow. From the shadow, why is this Lover's card here in the outcome for Aries in May of 2020? Five of Swords. He's running away from a bunch of monsters, zombies, demons. Remember, swords. What swords represents. With the dark grimoire. Demons and represent thoughts and the element of air corresponding to our own intellectual centra. With the mind and its potential, its thoughts escape our control. They can become obsessions, taking the form of demons and enslaving the mind. And then with the five, meaning there is the opportunity to move on to a higher level of consciousness, but there is also uncertainty and difficulty in abandoning personal convictions. So these urges that you have been getting away with and part of who you are going to catch up to you if you don't do something about it in May. Aries. So we got two other decks here we're going to pull from. We're going to pull one card from each deck. First we'll go with the ego side, the Isis of Oracle, or Isis Oracle deck. And we're going to ask, what is the overall meaning, or from the ego, what is the overall meaning, underlying energies of this entire reading for Aries in May of 2020? We got the Lunar Queen. Let's see, Lunar Queen. There is a deep feminine wisdom that recognizes the importance of cycles of rest and replenishment as essential balancing to our actions of power and demonstration. You are asked to allow this replenishment for yourself now, trusting that you are in a cycle of creation that is about to shift into a new phase. Release and enjoy the process without having to control or force it. Isis, as Lunar Queen, understands the cycles of creative power and flow. Sometimes it can be hard to let go of a desire to force, control, and make things happen. To exert might and will power to bring what you wish for into being by sheer determination, exertion, and force. Yet the vast creative power of the feminine principle is in honoring and flowing with cycles of activity and rest, of releasing force and surrendering into the perfection of what is happening right now, realizing that this actually brings us divine manifestation and creation more effortlessly and gracefully and to greater effect. The celestial crescent is the moon in her changing form. This oracle comes to you at a time when you are shifting from one phase into your spiritual and creative journey into a new phase. This is a time to pay deep attention into the messages of your body and allow them to guide you. Do you need to balance your activity with more rest? Do you need to be actively creating, but from a more relaxed and allowing rather than demanding or forceful mental state? Or is it time for you to spring into action once more? Has the time come to take a step forward? Pay attention to any other card that you draw with the Lunar Queen to more fully fully understand which phase is most appropriate for you now. These cards will help you connect with your inner wisdom and the guidance of your own body wisdom for the greatest timing and unfoldment of your manifestation. Remember, sometimes more time in the oven prevents an undercooked meal. Sometimes we just need to wait a little longer. The quiet times are dark moon energies. The times when you will sense from your inner wisdom, your body wisdom, that you are in need of replenishing and percolation. The other times when you feel the inner oven timer has rung and it is time to get that delicious meal on the table, your body will urge you to dance or to act or to communicate or to be bold and take steps. These are full moon energies. Your body will help you know where you are at and what you need. The flow between the dark moon and the full moon and all phases in between is constant. In allowing that flow, even several times in a day or an hour, you will maximize your creativity and allow your life to manifest creative project after creative project. Should you so choose, you will feel great inner harmony, wellness, and connection. This oracle is also a reminder that this feminine wisdom is not widely accepted in Western culture as yet, which its distorted view of what constitutes productive behavior. The Lunar Queen is quite a radical. You will need to really believe in your own wisdoms and give yourself great support and trust your own body wisdom in as you learn to operate in this more intuitive, flexible, responsive, feminine way. The Oracle tells you that Lady Isis and the spiritual guidance that cares for you completely encourages and supports you in being strong and giving yourself absolute permission to rest when needed. To honor your creative cycles for greatest productivity and quality. If you have been wanting to create something or feel frustrated in your creative enterprises, the Lunar Queen Oracle also contains the message for you that something creative is within you and wanting to emerge. It is stirring in your unconscious, and soon it will be reflected more clearly back to you, and you shall be able to act, but for now have patience. There can be much inner work required from the relatively swift outer work of bringing the creative impulse into form even begins. Such is the natural creative flow at times. If you are already in the flow and want to know if this is the time to really let go and shine like the gorgeous full moon, the answer is yes. Trust and know that you are being guided to your own inner wisdoms and supported by she of the celestial crescent, the Lunar Queen, Lady Isis. Alright, now from the shadow, the Divine Circus deck. From the shadow, what is the overall meaning, underlying energies of the entire reading for Aries in May of 2020? The Velvet Queen. So you got the Lunar Queen and the Velvet Queen. What number? Does it say on there? No, I don't see a number. Ah, here she is. Oh, I see the numbers. My bad. The Velvet Queen. A rare prize is to be bestowed upon you. The universe is confirming that the most luscious dreams of your heart are being nurtured into manifestation. To this end, you shall be given a saving grace, an intervention if needs be, to be open to receive surrendered doubt in favor of unconditional trust. Through your trust and optimism, You make it easier for the universe to give you a most deserved gift. A rare prize is worth the effort to attain it. Your efforts will need to include loving discipline. Loving discipline is not about trying to bend the world according to your will, but rather about readying yourself to align with the spirit of what you want to receive. To receive rather than attempt to take by force requires strength, trust, spiritual intelligence, and courage. It is easier to try and force things from a fearful place, but is more effective and empowering to learn how to attract and receive through consciously chosen surrender. This allows the universe to do its best work for you. To surrender is not about passivity, but doing all we can do and then trusting life enough to let go and allow the outcome to be what it will. Surrendering is not giving up. It's about trusting that there is a great and generous intelligence expressing itself through our lives, and if open to it, great treasures are bestowed upon us. So the discipline spoken of here is about changing your consciousness. It asks you to realize issues around self-worth. Why should you not be empowered and assisted by the universe to create a life that fills you with joy and feels just right for you? Of course you should, can, and will be. Release any lack of self-worth that would get in the way of your opening in complete trust to the universe. The Velvet Queen assists in shifting the mind from scarcity to prosperity consciousness, where we feel we can receive precious gifts with an easy, open attitude, neither holding on to them out of fear nor pushing them away out of shame or guilt. When she enters your life, she brings a sign of abundance headed your way. This might manifest itself in many and varied ways. In financial wealth, career opportunities, increased love and affection in your relationships, or as a sense of living in the rich fulfillment of life. Spirituality as well as emotionally and materially, she also indicates a prize that is worth attaining. It is said that the sweetest fruit is at the top of the tree and therefore worth the climb. The Velvet Queen lets you know that your most prized dream is within reach through a combination of letting life unfold as it will and your own disciplined efforts. Don't give up. You cannot make the fruit of the tree grow faster. That will happen according to the rhythm of life, but you can certainly do your part to be ready to climb the tree at the right moment to savor the sweetness of success. All right. What's next? So, let's do the Craft Tarot deck. Druid Craft Tarot deck. What is the overall meaning, underlying energies of the entire reading? Why are the cards that have been chosen in the places that they are placed for the Celtic Cross spread in the reading for Aries, May of 2020? The Lord. Number C, IV. The Lord. The structure needed for success. The Lord's strong will, rational thinking, and adherence to principles must be tempered by the lady's passion and feeling. A father figure, employer or authority figure, or government or official body, you may be called upon to act responsibly and in line with your values. If you are in a position of leadership, don't be afraid to act with clarity and integrity for the greater good. What is the overall meaning, underlying energies of the entire reading? Why are the cards here in the positions that they are for the Celtic staff in the reading for Aries in May of 2020. Kernos, or Chernos, whatever you want to call them. Kernos, the call to awaken to responsibility. As you learn how to be successful and creative, explore your sexuality and free yourself from inhibitions and repressions. Take care not to become consumed by these activities. Beware of denying the world with its greed, materialism, and rampant consumerism, which threatens to destroy the planet. Time to accept responsibility for our life and the way we live it. Good message for Aries right there. What is the overall meaning, underlying energies of the entire reading? Why is the Page of Wands, King of Pentacles, Four of Wands in reverse, Temperance in reverse here, and the additional clues and guidance for Aries in May of 2020. Two of Cups. The power and experience of love, creative blessings that result from the meeting of hearts. A romantic relationship or any meeting of hearts, minds, and souls. The union of opposites or polarities. Using the power of love to heal, to engender cooperation, or to effect reconciliation. Now we have the Sacred Indian Tarot. What is the overall meaning, underlying energies of the entire reading? What is the message or lesson for Aries in May of 2020? The Magician in reverse. This card indicates an inability to deal with changes that could lead to new and better things. There is a desire and hope of greater happiness. However, you need to challenge the inertia within yourself and tap into your potential to fulfill your destiny. Guidance can arrive through one's own intuition or in the form of someone who brings about change or transformation. Usha, the saga. Usha, the goddess of dawn, is the daughter of heaven and heralds the arrival of the sun in her golden chariot, yoked by 7 ruddy horses. She is the life and health of all things, being born every day, and yet she is an immortal being. Usha is considered a medium of awakening. Dawn is said to be the archetype that symbolizes truth and clarity. She signifies supreme illumination as she rises with the radiance of her truth. Next, we're going to pull Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle Guidebook cards. What is the Sacred Geometry Activation message lesson for Aries in May of 2020? Throat chakra. The frequency of the throat chakra, the blue flower of life, supports our self-expression and our sense of peace and balance. So you have to be honest with your communication. Don't corrupt your throat. Number 5. The flower of life is a geometric shape recognized by many cultures all over the planet. It consists of 13 equal circles and intersects at the middle of each circle, creating a perfectly proportioned flower. As a symbol, the flower of life represents the universe as a whole, as well as the harmony in which all the separate components of the universe work together. This beautiful pattern is often used to indicate our understanding of our connection as humans and as spiritual beings to the whole. The color blue is associated with the 5th or throat chakra, located in the area of the neck. It is linked to communication and our ability to express our needs and desires. Blue is cooling and a mentally relaxing color, and it pacifies the nervous system. It connects us to holistic thought. It generates wisdom, and it supports our communication and speech skills. Blue is considered the color of truth. Its sense is hearing. White Light Oracle. Enter the luminous heart of the sacred. What is the message from the White Light Oracle for the overall meaning, underlying energies of this entire reading for Aries, May of 2020? Aura of Gamma. Number 27. It is time to let go of what has been. You are swiftly outgrowing your past. Explore and commit to a spiritual practice that supports your personal transformation, that you can cross the threshold before you now. Embrace your freedom to be creative in your approach. Rather than doggedly committing yourself to your previous ideas or plans, you have the spiritual intelligence necessary to evolve. Continue your healing journey with trust that a positive outcome is imminent. Aurora is the Roman goddess of the dawn, the bringer of light and initiatrix of a new cycle or chapter in your life. She is the luminous dispeller of darkness, the flickering flame of hope in the heart that can burn into such a radiant holy fire that even the greatest challenges do not cause the soul to turn away in fear. Her presence is in a reading signifies a fresh start in the overcoming of an old cycle. Gamma waves a high frequency, typically 40 Hz in humans, but extending to higher levels with hypergamma oscillating at around 100 Hz. Associated with spiritual insight and clarity, pure vision, and breakthrough awareness, the gamma state is associated with high level processing that leads to integration and evolution. With the gamma frequency, we transform knowledge into wisdom through application. We tap into our ability to integrate information, and in doing so, are truly healed and transformed. As the world around us becomes increasingly complex, the capacity for superior processing is swiftly becoming necessary for the spiritual, emotional, psychological, and even physical well-being of humanity. There is a strong link between spiritual practices such as meditation and the production of gamma waves. When we experience a heightened state of spiritual awareness, an expansive sense of being, or a powerful connection with the universe or spirit, our brain is in gamma mode. Shifting our gray matter gears into gamma waves can facilitate the breaking up of stagnant modes of thinking and behaving. This is the sacred frequency of evolution. Humans who are stuck in patterns repeat the same stories, the same words, the same thoughts over and over, as though on a repeated loop. The soul can begin to wither within such constriction. What is needed is something new and increasingly alive, such as the life-stimulating grace of encounters with the unfamiliar. Connection to gamma waves can enhance our capacity to embrace the unfamiliar, and through that openness of being, constructive adaptation is enhanced. Our way of being becomes more fluid, responsive, and creative. We engage with our experiences and grow positively through how we respond to what is happening. Aurora of gamma indicates a shift into a new cycle, but also the growing presence of the light within, which is the creative light of spirit. Tuning it to that light opens up options for living soulfully, away from the grip of ignorance, no longer constantly ensnared by the compelling but ultimately fraudulent conjurations of ego. Her new era is an inner transformation with positive external consequences. Trust in what your inner light is manifesting in your heart and in our world. Alright, Aries, almost done. Here comes your message. Title of your video: Wisdom of the Oracle. Wisdom of the Oracle, give us the title for this video, overall meanings and underlying energies of this entire reading, messages, lessons for Aries in May of 2020. Thinker. Number 44. Thinker, essential meanings, strategy, being analytical and logical. The Oracle's message: the ability to reason and strategize is the focus now. Take things at face value and follow the logical path. Your calculations will prove to be correct, for in this moment there is no deeper meaning than what is obvious. Things are exactly as they seem. You have all the information you need. Keep it simple and you will win the game of life you're playing right now. Relationship message: love is not logical, but when you choose a partner, it is good to have things in common other than desire. This is a time to weigh the pros and cons of your partnership. If there's enough common ground, go for it. If not, there are other fish in the sea. Don't force it to work. And should others tell you who they are, take them at their word. Now is not the time to indulge in a fantasy. No matter what, in this case, the facts are the facts. Prosperity message. Calculated action is called for now. It's important to sit down and plan a strategy. Focus on the steps you're going to take to claim your prosperous life. Lists are your friend right now. So get out your journal. Write down what you're going to do today to signal to the universe that you're serious about attracting abundance. Your plans and strategies will yield wonderful results. Remember, your most effective strategic partner is Spirit. You will win this game, and your triumph will be for the highest good of all. Protection message. You might be suffering from analysis paralysis. Thinking has its place, but trying to figure everything out logically is not going to work right now. Your conclusions will likely be faulty, and you may act upon false assumptions that will get you in a jam. Give your mind a rest. Do something creative, exercise, or meditate. Soon you'll come to your senses, and an aha moment will bring new clarity. And last but not least, Sacred Power reading cards. Sacred Power reading card. Overall meaning, underlying energies, messages, lessons. Why is this Page of Wands? King of Pentacles. Four of Wands in reverse. Temperance in reverse. And the Two of Cups here, and additional clues and guidance for the entire reading for Aries, May of 2020. Intuition. The third eye is located in the center of the forehead between your eyebrows. Understanding your needs can be difficult if you spend too much time listening to others and not listening to yourself. The third eye forms a bridge between your mind, body, and spirit. Everyone has the potential to utilize the power of their third eye. Awakening and strengthening the third eye increases clarity, intuition, and concentration. Intuition can be strengthened by listening to your feelings and your body's messages. What is your body trying to tell you? What are your first impressions, thoughts, and feelings about a particular situation? Listening to your base instincts builds a relationship of trust with your intuition, senses, and higher self. Learning to trust your inner feelings will give you a greater source of confidence in future decisions. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Right now, you must acknowledge your inner knowing. While you may have lacked confidence in trusting your natural gut instincts in the past, now is the perfect time to clear away any doubts. Acknowledge your gifts that were given at birth. You can access these at any time through meditation and a developed practice. Your third eye is open. Pay attention to visions, thoughts, and impressions of those around you. Strengthening your third eye will help you look deeper into a situation. By learning to trust your gut instinct, you tune into your body senses. Spiritual realization is the focus now. There's no need to compare yourself to others. See this as confirmation of your unique gifts, which can be used with passion and purpose. Listen to your senses so you can approach circumstances and people with caution, enhancing your personal power, clear and balance your energies regularly to maintain accurate vision. Affirmation. I am able to see clearly and accurately through divine assistance. And there you go, Aries. Let me know. Leave a comment. Tell me what's up, what you think. Do you relate? Does it make sense to you? Doesn't? Tell me. Ask any questions you want. Email me. Bunch of links below. Click on them. Tell me. Don't be afraid or don't be offensive. We can all learn from each other.